Alright, so I'm back, and no, these are not your average sunnies. In fact, they're not sunnies at all. They are the Nreal Air, which is AR glasses, and they're capable of replacing my desktop monitors, which is kind of crazy. And I had no idea about them before you guys started commenting on my last video saying that I should try these ones out next. And apparently Nreal saw those comments because they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try them. And not only that, but they also asked if they could provide a budget for making this video, which, don't ask me why they would do that, but they did. I think it was a great choice because, well, I'm a professional. So let's figure out how to spend their budget. Okay, so now what would be the best way to use the budget that Nreal gave me? Well, naturally, I'm a responsible adult, so I can handle this responsibility. And the best way would obviously be to buy the most expensive plane ticket I've ever bought. Because again, obviously the best test for these glasses would be to fly to Australia and use them on the beach, right? This logic is flawless. So now, I guess I didn't technically bring this up with Nreal or whatever, but didn't really feel like I needed to. I know what I'm doing, so that's what I did. Nreal, I'm sorry. And kids, that's why you never ask for permission, but for forgiveness. So the trip started out with me landing in a snow-covered Stockholm where I had to stay for a night before the next flight. Oh, wait, how did that shot get in there? That's embarrassing. Anyway, this was my first ever experience flying in business class. I chose Qatar Airways because they're supposed to be good. Definitely a bucket list item checked off right there. Thank you, Nreal. Alright, so I have to say that I'm really impressed with these glasses. Like, the form factor of them, the fact that they're this tiny and they're actually able to show you like an actual screen, and yeah, I don't really know how they did that compared to the glasses I tested in the last video. The portability of this and the fact that like using them on my face, yeah, they don't really look like normal glasses maybe, but they're very close to looking like normal glasses, which means that some people could probably mistake me for wearing normal glasses, or some people wouldn't really notice that I'm wearing something different. So, these glasses passed the flight test. I believe the reason for this is that they use 3 degrees of freedom head tracking, which means that the forward or backward motion of the headset isn't tracked, nor the elevation of it, which allows you to be moving without it affecting what you're viewing. The glasses also have two 60Hz 1080p micro OLED displays, one per eye, and the screen size is 130 inches at 4 meters distance and 201 inches at 6 meters distance. And thanks to the clever layout of the tiny LEDs, you can see through it perfectly, which meant for me that it was more comfortable to use for longer durations. So that's great. But now for the reason that we came all this way, to the other side of the world. Arguably the most useful test for these glasses, the beach test. Okay, so it turns out they work there, but for that scenario, you definitely want to be putting this cover on, because without that, you really can't see the screens. Now I also have to say that the beach probably isn't the best place to be using these in the first place, since technology and the beach just doesn't really go together that well. You just get sand everywhere, and also I rarely find myself on the beach feeling like, oh, I need a 200 or whatever inch screen in front of my face right now. So yeah, beach probably not the best place to be using them, but you can use them if you want to. So far I'm really impressed with these glasses. I will say that the multiple screen feature isn't great in my opinion, so I found myself solely using the static screen. If you're using a Mac, then you have a swipeable desktop feature, which works for me pretty much the same as having multiple screens. I don't believe I ever look at two different things on two different screens at once, so a quick 3-finger swipe is not a huge hassle compared to just turning my head like I would on static or normal monitors, but that's up to you. Where I really think that this product shines is for commuters, because it really delivers on the alluring promise of having a virtual screen with you wherever you go. Another place where this device works really well is when you're gaming. Since it's pretty much able to be plugged into any gaming console, it means that I've found new positions to game in that I didn't know existed. Lying down can actually work, since you don't have to strain your neck to see the screens. You can literally lie down and look at the ceiling. Any position goes. Which I find quite unique, because I'm so used to the limitations of needing to position myself in a way so that I can actually see the TV. So now, who do I think that this device is actually for? Well, in my opinion, I think it's going to be especially useful for someone who commutes a lot for work, or travels a lot for work, or just travels a lot in general. And the reason for this is that it's essentially like a portable screen that you can take with you that's this tiny. And everything that you need fits inside this case, like the glasses and then the cable, and that's all that you need really. And so when you travel a lot for work and stuff, instead of being cramped and like using your little laptop, not being able to fully unfold the screen even to like look at it comfortably, instead you can just pull these out and put them on, and you have like a giant monitor in front of you at a perfect height and a perfect distance from you. No matter the space around you, you're just like not confined to that space. That's what I usually find when I travel, is I have this romantic idea almost before I go on a plane that, okay, I'm going to pull out my laptop and I'm going to do some work. I'm going to be really productive. But anytime I try to do that on a plane, it's just very uncomfortable. It feels almost claustrophobic. I'm like struggling to get into any sort of flow with the work that I'm doing, because it's just uncomfortable in general. And that's without even considering the fact that someone in front of me could be pulling their seat back, and then we're screwed pretty much. So with these glasses, what you can do is you can basically put them on, and then you can just use the laptop as your keyboard and mouse pad, and you don't have to even have the screen fully unfolded if you don't want to, but you'll have this perfect screen in front of you, which means that you can actually get some real work done while you're still traveling and commuting. So that's why I think the portability factor of these glasses is a really big win for Nreal, because it means that anyone can pretty much fit this in their hand luggage or in their commuter bag, whatever you want to call that. And it's not going to take up that much space. It's almost something that you can fit in your pant pocket or in your jacket pocket. And so yeah, overall, I'm actually really impressed with these glasses. I didn't know they existed until you guys were commenting on my last video and until Nreal reached out to me. But I'm glad I've actually gotten to try them out. And yeah, if you want to check them out, there'll be a link in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.